All right, guys, we are back, and I am juiced off Earl Grey. I feel good. I got Robert with us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty well today, actually. Thank you. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great, man.
Good.
Earl Grey's in me. It's in me. Uh, Jay,
Yo.
how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous. Can't complain.
It's great to hear. So it's gonna be three
Yeah,
of
man.
us
Balls
tonight.
is hanging right. And
Oh, gee. Well, that's
yeah,
important too.
that's a good,
Yeah,
especially when you're hitting these upper ages.
yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
make sure nothing's pulling them down, make sure
Yeah,
it's hanging right.
if your nuts is hanging lopsided, you gotta go to the doctor.
Right, you have you walking funny and with
Right,
the awkward pains and can't
right.
wear certain pairs of pants and stuff like
One
that.
gets swollen or something. You don't
Uh,
want that.
all right, let's get us back on the road here. To our listeners, we were sitting here, and we're just going to kick off with it. Sometimes we get into conversations and we end up talking about it, and try to avoid that so we don't lose the authenticity of the conversation. See, I'm really awake. I got that out. One take, authenticity. Um, Thor 5 is in the works, and Chris Hemsworth is pushing for a new director because, God, what was the name of that movie? Thor, Love and Thunder. Was that what it's called? It was it was a train wreck.
Yeah.
And we're not going to go too much into that because we got a lot of MCU news, some good stuff. Now, I don't have any complaints today, but Chris is always down for these movies. We were just talking about that, and we were just saying how some actors, they feel, when they're locked in with especially a popular character, like, why would you want to leave that character?
Right.
Just stay there and make the money. Chris keeps coming back, and I don't think Robert wanted to leave. Russo's made a choice there to kill Iron Man. I don't know how that was approved, but what I'm saying is sometimes the grass is not always greener. Robert Downey was doing Iron Man for was it over 10 years? Let's just say
Something
over 10
like
years.
that.
I can't. And Robert's a very talented actor.
Yeah.
I know one franchise he has outside of which I am a fan of, but is there anything else? So we're going to say Tropic Thunder, which was like a one-off, and we're going to say Sherlock. But anything else? Because he's made movies.
Yeah,
but
he made a lot of movies.
Yeah, during that time. But like, can you recall any of them?
What else?
Certainly not Doolittle.
Now, Doolittle was bad.
No.
That was bad. And
you had that one with that one that was pretty good. It was with Jamie Foxx.
I know which one you're talking about.
Jamie Foxx was like a musician, I think, and he was
Right.
a lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was early in his MCU.
Was that piano one?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. And he had one where he was a lawyer and his dad was a judge but the point being is that sometimes, and Robert was getting big checks from Marvel, especially after he had gotten out of, especially after he gotten out of his original, like he was almost like week to week. So like he was, his paychecks were going up. Like if he was getting paid a lot of money. So I'm not even surprised he's back. But Chris is looking to bounce back from Love and Thunder because Ragnarok had a nice balance. I'm a Thor fan. I did not hate the other movies preceding. I think Dark World is overlooked a little bit. I did not hate that one either.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, from where it went to, like Love and Thunder and all that, like Dark World was not that bad.
It was not, and
gave us a stark contract to look back onto. Yes,
right, and he still had most of the cast. He had Darcy was barely in. Well, no, she was in that one. Darcy was in there. Then we still had Portman before she hated the MCU, but she came back anyway. The tone was still kind of serious. We had a nice fight at the end of that. Thor was fighting one-on-one with somebody with an infinity gem. We had the post-credit scene that led to something. and then they kind of missed the opportunity when Loki was in charge of Asgard for I want to say a couple years. I'm going to say that it may not have been, but nothing ever came of that. But what would you want from a Thor 5 movie?
I just want something good. It doesn't have to be anything. I mean, we all know Thor.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so let me rephrase it. So instead of what do you want, what characters do you want to see from Thor's mythology? What
about Magog?
You're going all the way there. Like you're gonna
need why not?
You're gonna that's an Endgame movie right there.
Yeah, start a whole new trilogy. we might as well go big.
Go all the way to King Thor.
Right? Why not? And with Rune King Thor. That
what else you want?
Banging.
You said Magog, and who else? Who else would you want?
We got to get Beta Ray Bill in there at some point.
Oh yeah. We got to have Beta Ray Bill.
Beta would be a good one.
What's the other guy's Storm?
Well, Eric Masterson.
Eric Masterson is he's one of my favorite comic book characters like ever. Like I'm gonna say Thor, Batman, and then like Eric Masterson, if he was still alive, like he would be right there. Like he was it was another idea I had in my head, I was going to ask you guys about your favorite runs during favorite characters of yours, like when the artist, writer, like everything was just perfect. And the Falco run with Thor in the early 80s early 80s, 90s, when Thor had the secret identity with Eric Masterson. Like I loved Eric Masterson. Like he deserved his own magazine. Like he had the Thunderstrike mace.
Thunderstrike. Is Thunderstrike still around, or did they get destroyed?
He's dead. I don't know. I know his son.
I mean, the hammer
mace.
itself.
It's still around, but I don't think it's something that Marvel gotta do something about that. Eric Masterson did a lot for Thor. Like they were close, and I know Thor was pissed that he wasn't allowed in Valhalla. So that's one of my favorite characters. That is a good suggestion there, Jay. What is that? But who else would you want to see?
I wish I could say I'm more familiar with Thor stuff, but I'm really not. Is there any other members of his pantheon that we haven't seen yet? We saw Hela and Odin and Loki.
So for me, like, there's like a number, like, we talk about, Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery and Batman, Flash. Like, Thor's got a nice little Rogue Gallery. He's got Ulick. There's a rock troll that he's got beef with. He's like their champion. There's a rock troll, and I cannot remember his name. I'm sorry. Enchantress. They ruined Surtur. You can do Ymir. I think I said Enchantress. They ruined the Executioner. Cornelia, the Norn Queen. Like you can go deep in it, like, and just have the whole movie in Asgard if you want it, like back in space.
That's what I think they should do.
Yeah,
leave it in Asgard.
Like there's a number of things they could do.
Do they have a run where they rebuild Asgard after its destruction? Because that would be a good time for them to do that now.
Asgard has been destroyed so many times. Like, like it was in the negative zone. Like it was in space. It was on the moon. It was in Oklahoma. Like it was like everywhere. And when I was reading, it was the negative zone. It was in space, something like. But after that. Well, the last time I saw it, it was in space for a long time, but it was in a negative zone at one point because Annihilus had invaded once, and so it was everywhere. Like, Asgard was everywhere. It's not really a big thing for them to rebuild Asgard somewhere else.
Who have we seen so far?
Say that again.
Go ahead.
What villains have we seen? What it was like? We've seen what? Surtur, Hela,
Loki. No, you're right. Surtur, The Executioner.
Was that robot in the beginning or the first one?
The Destroyer.
The
Destroyer. Totally powered down. Like they use that to fight Celestials, and like he left that thing smoking in the street. It's the Trolls. You want to go there?
Oh yeah, Gore. They ruined Gore. They ruined every Thor villain
because he can't. It's hard to scale his villains. Like you can't really get rid of them. Like they keep coming back the way he keeps coming back. All of them have died and come back, and it's just that's just what they do. They fight and die, and they come back. But to me, Enchantress. What's your girl, Robert? Sydney Sweeney? Throw her in some green and black, call the Enchantress, and she'll be a star. So, and that would actually be a good villain. Like her and Thor had it's something like a Catwoman Batman thing with them.
You know what would be dope?
What's that?
What was Thor's alternate personality? Blake. Didn't they brought Blake in recently as a villain?
Yeah,
because he was trapped in like some alternate world where.
Yeah, and it's weird with him because he was Thor, but then he wasn't Thor, and then like he was just trapped when Odin died. That's what happened. He was trapped somewhere, and he just lost his mind and attacked Thor. They had him in prison, but I think he got out.
He was like slicing people up with a scalpel and all that.
Yeah, he was.
He was wilding.
Yeah. So it's
that might be dope.
Yeah, it depends on the tone. Like if you're gonna do like I'm saying Game of Thrones, like 300 type thing, like then I would do like Ulick or there's a number of people.
Or they could just do the whole Ballad of Beta Ray Bill.
That too.
That could be a whole trilogy.
And they ruined the Wrecking Crew and She-Hulk because
that's why I didn't even say the Wrecking Crew because of She-Hulk.
Right, because that's kind of in his wheelhouse. Because the Wrecker's supposed to be like Jay. You correct me if I'm wrong with this. Like he's about to be he's about as strong as Thor, not all the way up, but he's in that.
He's in that range.
He's in that range. Yeah, because his power is Asgardian related somehow. Something with his crowbar. He stole power from Loki at one point, something like that. But he fought them. But you can't use them because they were
they got ruined. She-Hulk
was such a weird inclusion, like out of nowhere.
They have to.
Didn't even wrap that storyline up.
They didn't. They just hanging out there. And Marvel MCU does this where they just like we're gonna put this name on this group just to say they were in it. Like, don't do that. Just make something up. Make something else up. Like, because down the line,
to make something up.
Right down the line, you might actually use that. But like, don't do that. Don't do that. So, Thor 5, it sounds like we're looking forward to that and some redemption for Thor, hopefully.
I think when I was listening to the Weekly Planet this week, I think they said that Marvel insiders are saying that Annihilus is being worked on or is coming up.
Really?
Probably after Doomsday.
See, I just don't trust Marvel right now.
Let's we're going to be positive tonight.
I tried to be positive. They lost all my goodwill.
We are. But the only reason I'm going to say this because they got their ass whooped the last couple of weeks, like months and years. And it's like, y'all got to fix this shit. And the reason why I'm saying this too, because I posted the picture of Phase 5 and I looked back and I was like, oh shit, it's over. And I looked back at the movies. It's like, I'm not mad at these movies I'm looking at. And hold on. So the movies, here, Jim, I'm gonna read them off. I'm not sure if you saw them. Come on. Sorry.
I know it started off with a whimper with freaking Quantumania.
It did. Okay, so here are the movies.
That was a bad sign.
It certainly looked like that. So you had Quantumania. So we were worried. Like I was already worried, but the MCU diehards were they were buckling. It was I can't think of my man's name who got in trouble. Kang. I can't think of his name right now. Majors. Yeah, Majors got in trouble, or I feel like it was around this time, and he did a good job. I won't say anything about his acting; he's a great actor. But the Ant-Man, that was the first bad Ant-Man movie for me. Like Ant-Man was like reliable, like not too high, not too low. It was just like solid movies the first two. So then you had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Like I loved that one.
That was a good one.
Great.
Good. And they ended it like I think that's good planning when a story like begins and ends with like when you close a chapter with a certain group. Like it wasn't the end of the franchise, so to speak. It was left open, but that group that we met in Phase 2, like that chapter was over for them, and they moved to a different group of Guardians. Then we have the controversial Marvels. Now, I'm gonna let you unload.
I was saying that.
But I just watched this movie again like a couple of weeks ago. I was watching it. My wife likes this movie. Kids, my girls like it, and I was watching it. And this is what I'll say: like I didn't hate it. Did not hate it. Like this movie was better than the first one to me, which I thought was very not interesting. Like it was a lot of slow. The pacing was better for this one for me. So we had that. Like let's just leave it right there. It wasn't great, but it was not Phase 4.
Hated it.
Then we had Wolverine and Deadpool. That was the next movie.
Okay, all right.
So right. It jumped to that. That was good. We don't have any complaints from anybody about that one, right?
Nah.
Okay,
it was a fun movie.
That might be one of the few
it actually like really did anything, but it was fun.
It was fun because I've only watched it once, and I don't need to see it again. Really, I don't think. Like it's been on streaming for a couple of months now. I haven't had any urge to watch it again. But that's not as bad as that sounds. It's not a strike against the movie. It's not. Then you have Cap. Now, Jay and Robert, I don't remember what you guys thought about Cap, Brave New World. What did you think?
I thought Brave New World was pretty decent.
Okay.
The way people were talking about it, I thought it was going to be terrible, but it was boring in the middle because, like, we knew that it was going to be the Red Hulk.
Yeah, they revealed.
So they're like building up to something we already know is going to happen.
Right.
But other than that, I thought it was good.
Right, exactly. So, like, it was like, Robert, go ahead. What did you think about Cap? Did you see that?
Yeah. No, I thought it was all right. Also, I gave it a kind of marks because it was trying to be a political thriller, but it was like missing the political part of it. Other than there's being a president in it, they were kind of being sly, so they wouldn't upset any of the overseas markets. Because it would have made more sense if it was like against China, trying to get into the Celestial for the Adamantium. Yeah, I think they ruined it by putting Red Hulk in the trailer. And the leader being as smart as he says he was, he sure got outthought a lot. But I thought everything else. Oh yeah, and this distractingly small Black Widow he was with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I think the rest of it was good. I think Anthony Mackie is really good.
He is.
He acted his butt off in that. And I just wish it was more focused on Captain America and not being something to fill in plot holes from a 17-year-old movie from Hulk, or however long old that movie is, 13-year-old movie.
Right, and
because there's so much Hulk in that movie.
There was, and that's what just to a couple of your points. It was odd that he was fighting like Hulk villains. Like some of the other stuff. It was almost like a continuation of Falcon and Winter Soldier. And it's funny, like we were saying, like that would have been a good movie, and I still stand by that. It was a solid movie. Like it was a nice. They're trying to gain some momentum here. Mackie was good. Like Harrison Ford was good. Like it actually looked good. Now it's funny, like it's been a couple movies now we have not complained about special effects, right? So that's good because
they have really gotten a lot better. Yeah,
right, because they were criminally,
yeah,
they were insulting our intelligence. Like that's how bad it was.
Quantumania again. Just go back to that.
Right. So after that, we had Thunderbolts, which is going to lead to us finally reviewing it. 3 or 4 weeks later. Everybody saw Thunderbolts.
I actually haven't seen it yet.
All right, we gotta talk. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, I can talk about it. I'll pretend like I saw it.
Okay. So I don't know if you remember. I mentioned with the asterisk, like they weren't. I said they weren't going to keep that name. I thought it was because this team really reminded me. Like if you're going to make like a Dark Avengers spin on a team, this was going to be the team to do it. And for listeners, Dark Avengers was not the official name, but it was the name of the book. Norman Osborn was the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he renamed it Hammer. He had an Avengers team. He was running around in the Iron Patriot armor, which was used in the third Iron Man movie for whatever reason. I don't know why they did that. Like it didn't make any sense. But they were criminals. Bullseye was dressed as Hawkeye. Forget her name. She was disguised as Captain Marvel, and Wolverine's son was playing as Wolverine. They had Ares, Sentry. They had a Kree guy, but he got out of here when he realized that they were crazy, and they were a solid team. Like I remember Ares sticked around. He didn't care that Norman was there. He's like, I'm fighting crime. It don't matter who my boss is, and he regularly threatened Norman's life when he thought that he was not being honest with him. And when they had Sentry, who was in the spotlight in this movie. Robert, what did you think? I'm sorry, to my point, they ended up being the new Avengers, which I had no problem with. It was actually kind of smart. Like I like that. There were like a number of Avengers teams during the Heroic Age and Dark Reign. I don't have any problem with that. I really don't. What did you think of Thunderbolts, Robert?
I thought it was good. I liked it a lot. I saw it twice. Florence Pugh was really good.
She was.
She really kicked butt. I can't remember who plays John Walker, but he was excellent in this movie too.
Wyatt Russell. Wyatt Russell. Let's go with that.
I thought it was Wyatt Earp.
Are you serious?
No.
Okay.
That was his tag.
I couldn't tell. I was looking at his face like, is he serious?
Lewis Pullman kicked ass also. Yeah, he was really great.
He really did. He truly did.
The movie had really good themes tackling depression and burnout. And I think they kind of tangentially made a case for therapy too in Bucky's case, because he wasn't affected as much by Sentry because he worked through all of his issues. And then the stuff with the Void was really dark, and it was really creepy, and I think it was done really well. You can tell this movie wasn't picked apart and glued back together in the editing room. It all seemed to flow really nicely. I think I wish they would have spent a little more time fleshing out some of the people, like Ghost. Like I wasn't expecting her to be an assassin after Ant-Man 2.
Yeah, she
so
took
that
a
was
turn
kind of
there.
weird.
Yeah,
but just a little bit. Have some time to catch up with the characters, and they got back. See some of their traumas when they went into Sentry's mind. We only got to see a couple of them, and then Taskmaster was completely wasted. I don't know even why they bothered.
They need to just kill that Taskmaster off and just bring the real one in.
Guess what? They did. They did.
Guess what?
So, this is the MCU apologizing. They're on the comeback trail here. They're like, get her out of here. People was upset about that. Was the only blemish. Some people won't forget that. It was the only blemish from the Black Widow movie, because that's another movie. I don't know if we were harsh on that one.
I didn't hate that movie.
I like that movie. I do, because
but the Taskmaster really took me off of it. Like,
yeah, it threw a lot of people off, and one of the reasons why I liked Black Widow, and Robert brought this up, is Pew. So like, she might be underused in the MCU at this point. Now, granted, she's not just sitting around doing nothing. She's an actor. So, but again, she came back. So she was in Widow, and she was in Hawkeye, and she was in this, and like, I don't want to say scene stealing like appearances, but like, she was really good. She was really really good. Like, I like this movie. I liked it a lot too, and I liked it because like, they're starting to like, let's get closer to the ground. Granted, Century was in it, but they were closer to the ground. And what I mean by that, you got some loose ends with some of these superpowered humans, and you got them with a purpose again.
Yeah.
The Century I've brought him up like sparingly over the years. Like, it's one of my favorite characters during one of my favorite comic book runs. Like, this is the only way the Century is interesting to me, is when he's like a time bomb like this. I was talking to Robert before this, like, when he's like nice guy and there's no threat of the Void, he's Superman. He's a Superman clone, and he's not interesting at all. So like, Century under Norman, he was a problem, and even with the New Avengers, he was a problem. So let me give an example. Like, we've all been reading comics for a while. How many times have you seen Dr. Doom arrested or captured?
Never.
Right. I've seen him captured once. And you know who caught him? Century. He ripped his face mask off, and Tony dragged him off to jail. He was in jail, and he was released when Norman came into power, and he used Norman because after he got out, he didn't have any intention on following whatever orders he was given. But back to the movie, it was the movie is trending the right way. Like, so, like, we talked about the phase. That's three. Like, we're gonna go with what Jay's saying. He didn't like Marvels, and like, that's fine. That's 3 straight movies that you didn't leave pissed off. You didn't see any bad special effects. You had passable stories in all 3 of them. Not great, but passable. This last one was pretty good. Captain America, we had a few gripes, but nothing that...
Yeah, not too bad.
Right. So how are we feeling after this phase? I know, Jay, you didn't see Thunderbolts yet, but like, going off me and Robert's expert opinion and the movies that you actually had a chance
it wasn't
to
as bad
view.
as the last phase.
It's right. You are correct. That's all you got from me?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm still not excited.
That's valid.
MCU.
That's valid because we don't. Okay, and
I'm way more excited about Superman than anything the MCU has.
We will get to that. I'll add this in my little notes here, and we'll try to get it in here. Robert, what are you feeling right now with the MCU? Like, as we're looking back over these last 6 movies.
I was talking to a friend of mine, and I kind of attributed phase 4 and 5 like Marvel with a machine gun. They're just shooting out whatever. There's no underlying part, but these last couple of movies, they actually got a hold of it and are actually hitting the target.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're hopefully done with the pointless end credit scenes that don't lead anywhere. Although at the end of Thunderbolts, I'm very confused why. Huh?
No, go ahead and say. I'm sorry, I interrupted. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I don't know why they spoiled the ending of Fantastic Four and the end credit scene of Thunderbolts.
Now, see, I would say it ruined it if this information wasn't already pushed out there. That one was kind of like I was interested in the conflict that they're having with Sam over the Avengers name,
over the big suit, over the name,
and this thing with the Fantastic Four coming into our reality. Now we got to see why they're here, like who they are, like if the. I think that's the next movie, right? That's the next MCU. All right, so that's like a good lead in.
That was my other point I was going to make, is that we have Fantastic Four coming up, and then after that it's Avengers, and we barely have an Avengers team. Sam, apparently it's been 13 months later, and Sam doesn't have an Avengers team yet.
But he's fighting. But
he has the name. And then we have the new Avengers. Potentially, we could have the young Avengers too, with Cassie and all the other ones.
You ruined it. You ruined my night. Jeez.
I know, but I wouldn't put it past them.
Just make them Avengers. They ain't got to be young. Just make them Avengers.
Yeah. I mean, the women did an A-Force homage in Endgame, so they might do a Young Avengers homage.
Did anybody like that A-Force montage? Because it came out of nowhere.
No.
I was like, wait, none of these characters even know each other. Now they fight back to back. Like, what is going on here?
It was a little forced, I would say.
It was. That was maybe a foreshadow of the Phase 4. Like that. Right. That was like, ooh, gonna get some popcorn now. But
all they had to do was have one of those like funny like 80s commercial breaks, like "Girls Rock," and then you see them all like.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah. I forgot what I was going to say, but what were we just talking about? What were we talking about? Did we really lose it?
We were just talking. I mentioned just the Avengers barely even existing before Doomsday starts, but
yeah. So we got Fantastic Four, and hopefully we get something out of there. Because they're going to have to recover from the Kang situation. I
wonder are they even going to bring it up? I'm wondering if they are, or is it just going to be in passing? Something that happened off screen.
The one thing that comic books will do, they will have a character trash to establish another character as a threat. And it would be a waste to just get Kang out of there. This is what Doom does anyway. Doom, like, for being present day, he owns Kang. Like, whenever they have clashes, or even though they keep working together, like, I don't understand it. Like, they like double crossed each other so many times, but they're, if Kang's like, I'm gonna work with Doom again, even though he's killed me or whatever, at some point I'm going to work with him. Yeah.
Comics are nice and fluid like that. You can change stuff up if something does, you hear something not right. I remember, what was it? It was 0 Hour, the comic series in DC, where time was kind of collapsing in on itself because of too many crises. The enemy was going to be the Monarch. And it was rumored that it was supposed to be Captain Atom, was gained power or whatever. But because that rumor came out, they changed it to Hawk, of Hawk and Dove, was the Monarch.
Was that who it was?
But then later, when it was after Infinite Crisis, the Monarch came back, and it was actually Captain Atom this time because he fought Superboy Prime.
Okay. Did he win?
They nullified each other.
Okay.
He blew up Captain Atom's suit, and that ripped a hole in space time, and he was sent to the Allegiant future, 31st century.
Okay. I might have to revisit that.
But they hear something and it gets leaked, and they're like, "Oh, we need to change it." So then they do, just to throw people off the set.
All right, that'll work too. All right, we talked about that. So we're hopeful here at the Multiverse for MCU. They're showing signs of life. We talked about Fantastic Four and setting up Doom. They've begun. That's what it was, Robert. They've begun shooting Avengers. That happened 3 weeks ago. and there are photos that are out there in the internet out there. It's really too early to speculate at this point, but the concerns are real as far as like how they're going to set this up, especially if it's not going to be Kang anymore. It's going to be Doom, somebody we have not seen, no one has mentioned up until this point.
It'll be Madam Web
in her chair.
Leave Madam Web exactly where she is. But we'll see what happens. I'm a little hopeful. But this was we're coming to the end of May, and I was and this is Star Wars month, and I was getting Star Wars up. Then I watched my favorite one, which is Revenge of the Sith. Like okay. I don't that shit breaks my heart every time, man. Because I don't like everybody failed in that one. It's just Palpatine's like right under their nose, and he's telling them that they should do this, which is like directly helping with his plan. Even when things weren't going his way, he was able to pivot, and then it was like, well, this is even better than I originally planned. And Anakin just losing his damn mind, man. And that is my favorite one. I did watch all the prequels. I watched Rogue One, and I watched the original ones. I did not watch the sequels. I was going to, and then I just never came back to them.
Yeah, it's no point to watch that trash.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys get any? Did you get a? Before I asked
I watched New Hope and Empire.
Okay, Empire, like that was a good flick. Even though if you ask me what my favorite is, I won't say that. It'll either be Return or Revenge from me. But Empire was really good. It was really good. I still enjoy those movies. And that's what I watched. I watched Obi-Wan, and like Obi-Wan was like scared shitless when he found out he was still alive. That's guilt right there. Yeah. It's like, why are you? What are you scared of? But that was
well. You see, I left him in a burn. I chopped his arms and his legs off, and
you rotisseried him, and then you didn't even like. Listen, if you do that to somebody, please make sure they're dead. Okay, right. There's no defense against that kind of rage that person.
Right, he just left him there cooking.
Right,
he could have force pushed him into the lava.
Right, he didn't have to touch him.
He just walked off.
He was golden rotisserie, looking like some Boston chicken in the window,
just grazing the lava just so it catch on fire.
He did have stumps. He really did. He had the 2 drumstick arms and legs. Like he was served up. Right. And I was watching with my wife. She's like, "Why didn't he kill him?" I was like, "I don't know, babe. Obi-Wan makes bad mistakes when he leaves.
Yeah, he makes bad decisions.
He leaves Anakin every time like slumped over, like clinging to life, and he's just like, I'll leave him. Like, I'll never see him again.
We're done with him.
Like the galaxy's a big place.
Right. He'll never find me. Like, no. But that was my Star Wars full. I was listening. I was trying to find the 2D Clone Wars series.
The Genndy Tartakovsky joints.
Yeah, it's not on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I don't think they play those.
Yeah,
that's on.
Which they should.
Isn't
because
that on
they're like
Max? Because that was a Cartoon Network.
It might be on Max.
All right, I'll look for it there.
Because those are like the best Star Wars y'all ever seen.
Yeah, that's what my brother was telling me because they had the 3D one, and I didn't really. He said that one was good, but
that's good. You have to watch it a little bit.
Okay,
it fills in a lot of the gaps in the prequel era. Okay. It builds that up,
and that's what he was telling me.
It makes the prequels good.
Okay, all right. But did you guys get any? Did you watch? I'm sorry, I already asked you guys that. So we got Star Wars up, and those films still hold weight even in this day and age. I think I may take your advice and not watch any of the sequels. Maybe check in on Mandalorian. And what was the guy?
Which Andor.
That was the one.
Yeah, that's the one I watched for the Halloween or for the Star Wars stuff.
And I watched the Solo movie once, but when I tried to watch it again,
Solo's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I didn't have it in me to watch it a second time. But it was not terrible at all. All right, so
yeah, I didn't hate Solo at all.
Yeah, that one and Rogue One, I didn't hate those.
No, those are good.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on. Robert, I know Robert watched the show. I don't think you do, Jay. For you finished up the series after five good seasons. I'm gonna say good seasons. But I did not like this last season. It's like Joe. I've never seen Joe this sloppy. It's funny, Robert. I get on you for messing with the girl from The Last of Us, but the girl Bronte that they had brought in for you. Joe's had some let me tell you, he's had some really nice looking girls in there, and I don't blame him.
He's been hitting way out of his league, yeah.
Right, he's out kicking his coverage every season. Yeah, Beck was beautiful. Beck was beautiful. Yeah. Love was the one. It's what I tell people. Love matched his crazy. Love cooked. Love was a damn freak. Okay, and all you had to do was do what she asked, and she would have been cool.
And she was rich.
Yeah, and then you had I can't think of the girl who was the private investigator who Love killed. She was beautiful.
Yeah.
These last 3 seasons, it seemed like his, and I know I'm trying to explain, make sense out of a crazy person's decision making, but you really had no reason to leave these women and get involved. With Love, with the he out of nowhere he fixated on the librarian. Then he had found Love 2.0, who came back this last season looking better than she did the previous season. She was richer than Love and had more influence. He had a good life. And then you mess it up. This girl, she may be an astounding actress. I'm going to sound really superficial here. I'm acknowledging it. But it's just there's no temptation there at all. She could have been butt naked, and I would have been you need to go put some clothes on. We're not doing this at all.
She really gambled on getting him attracted through her intellectually, because if that didn't work, it would not have made it through.
No. But besides that, the plot, it was just, I was struggling. And anybody who knows me knows I love this show. I really do love. I watched all the seasons multiple times. The first 2 I've watched multiple times, and the other ones maybe 1 or 2 times, maybe twice. But I wanted the show to end before that season started, and it didn't end the way I thought it would. I thought that Peach's people should have been involved, because they should know that he was still out there. They had him tailed, so they had their suspicions. It just, I don't know. Robert, what did you think of this last season?
I think it feels like the writers didn't know how to end it, and they kind of, I would say the first 3 seasons were very smartly written. They had his character down pretty well. I know these are based on a book. I'm not sure if all of them are, because this last season just doesn't feel like the rest of them. He's sloppy. He's going after people that I don't think he normally would. taking way too many risks. Yeah. The thinking that the twin playing the other twin and thinking that was going to work was just
that was he should have killed her. Like I'm not like season 1 Joe would have killed her. Put it like that.
Like what you're banking on her. I know she doesn't like her sister, but you're banking on her not turning you in. And
like
it
keeping
would be
this
super easy
like
for
keeping
her.
us up, right? And she was not the smartest. Like Joe really did not want to go to jail. That was the thing with him. Like I really and grant anyone who does crimes like this, they don't want to go to jail. But he's like, I'm not going to jail. Like I'm not. And I'm sorry, you can continue because it was just
and then him just exposing, what he does to way too many people in this last season. And then, like he said, I thought he was going to die too. I didn't think he was going to live through the end of the season.
I didn't either. Olivia, I was talking to Olivia about it, and you're right. It was based on books, and I think the books ran out after season 3.
Yeah.
And like those first 2-3 seasons were kind of interconnected. The first one ended with the one girl coming back, and she caused him to go to L.A. and he's out there. He met love, fell in love with love, and they had the baby, which led into season 3. And then, we had the freestyle, which it didn't really work. Even last season, like it didn't feel like the other ones. I'm glad it's over because like he couldn't keep getting away with this stuff, and the world was just getting too small for him to keep getting away with these things.
Yeah, I did like that they brought back a lot of the characters. They brought back the librarian, and then they brought back the girl that he framed in London.
Oh yeah.
They brought her back.
Let me ask you, like, where the hell was Dr. Nikki? If anybody should have come back and had some kind of resolution, it should have been him. Like his son, like, oh, hey, what the hell was what's his name? John Stamos.
John Stamos, yeah.
Like, what was he doing? Like come on back,
he couldn't
John.
show up for one episode, considering this was his daughter was involved, or I can't remember. Was Brontes? She was related to.
No,
she was friends with Beck, right?
She's friends with Beck, and the guy that she was hanging out with was his son. The character.
That's right. It was the dude. That's right. It wasn't her. It was the dude. Yeah.
And Beck was back in Flash, but Beck still looks great. Like she's one of the highlights of the first season, even though she was a little idiot too. But so you and I agree with this, and we're going to bring Jay back in on this for his thoughts. Why can't shows? Let me be a little more specific. Shows that were good can't seal the deal on the last season. Like, why do great shows struggle with ending it?
I don't think they plan it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they plan it from the beginning, I think they would be okay. Like if you just figure you're going to have a 5-season run and just write 5 seasons, and everything ain't Star Trek. Everything can't have 10 seasons in a row.
Now that I will definitely agree with you on, because when you're younger, me and my wife talk about this all the time too. When you're younger, you want a show to last forever. As an adult, you hear me and Robert talking about it's like the show needed to end, and we love this show. Like it's got to have a beginning and an end.
Yeah. And
like when you're going and going and going, like when I think about great shows that just kept going, I think about X-Files. X-Files, like I love that show, but it kept going and going.
Yeah, eventually it just needs to end.
Right, it has to end. And I think about Lost, and I just really think they did not know how they were going to wrap it.
J.J. Abrams never sticks to landing. he never does. I think he knows how to build a story up, but he can't finish it.
This is what I read. I read that the writers were told to keep adding weird stuff to the story to keep people involved. and I don't know if they had any, like to your point, any plan to bring resolution to that. And I honestly think that fans figured out what they were doing early in the show, and then like to Robert's point, where they changed like a plot, a plot point so that it'll throw people off the scent. They changed it. Like in Lost, it was like they were all dead or something at some point, and people were saying that early in the show, like, oh, they're dead, they're in purgatory right now. At the end of the show, oh, we were in purgatory and we all just met here, and then we passed on to the next life. So you just like added something to what people were already saying. And
they probably did it because people were saying it. I don't think they planned that from the beginning.
Okay. Either way, they made a change. And like Lost, I will always say this about Lost. The ride through Lost is fantastic. The last season is a train wreck. It just is. And they went through that season like they had another season planned. And let me backtrack. It wasn't a train wreck. It wasn't as good as the previous seasons, and it still left stuff hanging out there.
I think Lost is going to be our next watch. Me and Ronnie, we just out of nowhere decided to watch Prison Break.
Okay.
Which is pretty fun to see. Was it Mick Rory and Leonard Snart in their show before they came to the
another multiverse, another universe of themselves. Lost I will recommend Lost to anybody with no hesitation. Like for 5 seasons, like that show was like historic. They had like watching parties, like it was everywhere when it was really cooking, and it's a great show. And they had like characters fleshed out, all 9 or 10 of them or whatever. It's just things get shaky. I'm gonna say it was shaky on the last season, and even then, like I watched Lost again last year, and I didn't hate the last season as much, but I still wasn't happy with it. And like me and my wife watch Lost all the time. She doesn't want to see me watching Lost again. She's like, I'm not going back to the island. She's like, I'm like, don't put that back on. I'm not watching. And there's really no reason to at this point. But I'll get an itch in another year or so. I'm like, I'll watch this again. But I agree with no plan. And to Game of Thrones and to Yu's point is based on the book, and they just ran out of material and didn't know where to go. It's a shame that happens. Most of the time, it ruins like the legacy of the show. Mm-hmm. But some survive it. You will survive for me. Like I can easily act like nothing came after the 3rd season, because the first 3 seasons were like gold, platinum, and like 4 was like a bronze, and no, it can't be a bronze. But yeah, it was bronze, and last season was like plastic. It was just like, I don't ever need to watch that season again. Joe went out like a sucker, and that is just like not how he rolls. It just isn't. Anything else you wanted to add with you, Rob, before we move on?
No, nothing for you. It was a good series for what it was. I probably wouldn't even hate rewatching it, like you said. Mm-hmm. As for shows with terrible endings, I always have to bring up Dexter.
I've heard that one too.
Yeah, I think it should have ended after season 4 with John Lithgow, because that was a really great villain and a really good storyline. But everything else after that went downhill. And the last season specifically was terrible.
And why do you say, what happened? Like, what changed after that season 4?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember season 5. I don't remember it very well. I know it has the actress who was the mocap for Miranda in Mass Effect. I forget her actual name. But she was in there as one of his love interests, and I think she's the one who ended up with his child, because he was worried about the kid growing up to be a serial killer like him. So she left, and she took the kid with her. But then in the last season was basically him versus his sister the whole time because she kind of found out, went on a spiral, and ended up dying. And then he went out into the storm in a rage, and we thought he died, but he didn't actually die. And I don't know. It just was. Most of the characters were gone. You know, he kind of lost his luster because he, like Joe, was getting sloppy. It's actually been a long time since I've watched Dexter. Trying to remember. I just know I did not like that last season.
Okay. All right. Did you have a show that you followed, Jay, that kind of ended on a bad note?
There's probably a lot of them. You remember that? I'm sure you both do. Heroes.
Yes, I did. I've heard that too.
That show fell off hard after the first couple seasons. Like they didn't know where they wanted to go with it. I can't even remember the details. I just remember it being annoying. Like they had like a catchphrase.
I don't know.
And I can't remember what it was. Like save the cheerleader or something. Like something stupid.
Yeah, something like
that.
Save the
cheerleader, save the world. Yeah.
That's
she was basically pointless after the first season.
Yeah. So it's like they had a good idea, but did not know how to follow through.
Who was the cheerleader? What was the actress? I feel like it's somebody.
Hayden Panettiere.
Hayden? Was she?
She was in that country music show. I don't remember what else she's been on.
Oh, I know.
Was she the one in that vampire show too? Was she in that vampire show?
I don't know. Okay,
on HBO.
So,
where they had the fake blood that the vampires were living off
True
of.
Blood?
True Blood, yeah. Was that her in there?
I don't know.
I pulled up a picture. I almost thought it was that other girl, Sabrina Carpenter. It almost looked like her. Okay, so Robert, you wanted to mention Elden Ring movie and Street Fighter movie. You want to?
Oh yeah, we can touch on that real quick. So, let me pull up my notes here for the Street Fighter movie. I've never seen this movie, but the director of Bad Trip is taking over. It was originally going to be the directors who did Talk to Me, the one with the horror movie with the hand.
Okay.
And it's A24, but they dropped out, and so now this new person, Kitao Sakurai, is the director now. And I guess they're starting principal photography now, and they've cast a few people. I don't recognize some of them. Andrew Koji from Bullet Train, Noah Centino from Warfare. I've never seen that, but it's looking like Roman Reigns is going to be Akuma, and then Jason Momoa is also going to be in there as somebody. Blanca, maybe.
I wonder who Jason Momoa is going to be.
Oh, Blanca.
Blanca.
If he's Blanca, that would be hilarious.
Yeah. He's crazy enough. I think he'd do Blanca. I think the Andrew Koji is going to be Ryu, and the Noah Centino is going to be Ken. If I remember the podcast I was listening to earlier about that.
Okay.
Be interesting. It sounds like they're going more traditional, where Ryu and Ken are going to be the main characters, and hopefully focusing on them just being world warriors and not pulling a Mortal Kombat, not actually having a Mortal Kombat in it. And they announced A24 is also going to be doing a Elden Ring movie, which is interesting. They have put in Alex Garland as the director. He was the guy who did Civil War. He did Annihilation. He does a lot of movies where the spectacle and the visuals do a lot of the talking and the characters don't do as much, which works really well for Elden Ring. Because that all the storytelling in Elden Ring is in the scenery and in the lore of the items that you picked up. The characters don't really do a lot of talking, but it would still be interesting on where they're going to do this. Like, are they going to do like the events that lead up to what happened in the Lands Between? Are they going to do just some random tarnished going through all the bosses and kind of It would be really hard because there are literal hundreds of hours of people doing deep dives about the story of Elden Ring on YouTube.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Elden Ring, I've never played. Now, what is this game about?
So it's a Souls-like. Essentially, you are a reanimated dead who got a chance of life again because, well, originally it was because one of the enemies wants to use your body as grafting materials. Like he'll cut you up and add you onto things to make even bigger monstrous versions of himself. Mm-hmm. But since you end up defeating him, you move on. You're unraveling, what happened to the world. So the world is destroyed. People aren't allowed to die because the rune of death had been sealed away. So everybody's just alive. The whole land is rotting. There are dead gods and beings everywhere, and all worshipped by a tree. And beyond that, it's really hard to get into because there's an entire lineage of gods and a pantheon of their children. The Elden Ring, the titular Elden Ring, is a source of power which was broken by the queen, and pieces of it go over the land, and that's how you get empowered. Okay. So putting it into a movie, I don't know how they're going to do that, honestly.
So is that something they could put in one movie, or would you see sequels here if it's successful?
It would really depend on how they're going to do it. If you're going to do it from the standpoint of just a character going through the motions to the end of the game, you wouldn't be able to do that in one movie. I think it would be easier to kind of explain what happened to the land with the infighting and between the gods and their siblings.
Okay.
Looks like we.
All right. So we lost Robert for a second, but until he comes back, we will move on to the next topic. And Jay, I want to ask you this: why does Hollywood not like Henry Cavill? And I'm saying this because he had Voltron that it sounded like it wrapped up, which is going directly to Amazon.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Highlander, which sounds like it's done, going directly to Amazon. And then, no need to bring up what happened with him and Warner Brothers and The Rock. He lost the role of Superman. Why can't we get this guy on screen, man?
I suspect it's because he's too much of a geek. And he pushes things that the studios probably don't like.
That's a good,
because he ran into issues with
the Warhammer. Was it Warhammer?
Not Warhammer. What's it called? The other show he was on Netflix, The Witcher.
Oh yeah.
Because he's like, right. You can't do this because it's not with the lore. Like, he's real big on keeping up with the lore.
Yes, I
think he might be irritating people. But it ends up making the projects better.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because me and Robert we were talking about it briefly, and we thought it's because he was being too nice. But what you're saying actually makes sense. He's like that. No, it's like us going on set on an MCU movie,
right?
It's like don't bring Q and J back to the shit, like, because we're not doing all that. We're just trying
this is stupid. What are y'all doing?
Yeah. What the fuck y'all doing? Like, this is all right now. Like, no shooting today. We gotta get the writing
we
together.
Gotta go back to square one. We gotta
work
this out.
Back to formula, as that's what they told Norman on the first Spider-Man movie, Tobey's movie. But that makes sense. And you're absolutely right. Okay, I'm looking forward to the Voltron.
I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, and if a movie's going to get canned, I'm using air quotes here, and going right to Amazon, right to a streaming service, you want it to be Amazon. You want it to be Amazon or Apple. And I say that because their shows and movies always look good. Like
they
you
look
can
incredible every time.
Right. You see the money. You see like the price tags on everything on their shows. So hope's not lost for Cavill. But in this day and age, you know, we're back in the theater. You know, just to touch on another subject, Sinners. I think it's at 300. I think it's 300.
It crossed 300 million mark.
Yeah, it got its money back. Put it like that.
Real. It definitely did.
Yeah, so that was successful. That was a successful movie.
I wonder if Variety's going to do a follow up op-ed with a better headline
than that bullshit they had 4 months ago.
They was hating real hard,
real hard, and it was hold on, let's see here. There's a lot of hate with the movie. We talked about people saying that the movie was demonic. I haven't heard any complaint like that since like the 80s. And then back
with
when
like
they talked
Dungeons and Dragons.
I was going to say the same thing. Dungeons and Dragons. Now, like, wasn't nobody saying shit when these what's the Paranormal Activity and what's that?
It's real wild. Like it's real. And I you know, I don't want to bring race into anything, but it's like. Okay,
I am for that because, like I told you,
because with their mentality, the MCU is crazy demonic. Like how many gods and demons and all this other shit is in the MCU? You got Loki, Odin, Surtur, Thor. Like all these people are gods and demons.
Now, see, MCU was that they were slick with it. They were making them out to be aliens. Remember, they're like, oh, they're not gods. Like they're aliens.
Surtur wasn't no alien.
No, he
was a straight devil demon dude.
Now that's what I saw, but again, he was on a planet, and he wasn't
dark
on
hole.
Witches.
They had a whole witch coven.
Yeah, you're right. And
Star Wars had lesbian witches.
What's the
black people got some vampires and now they're demonic.
What's the that horror shared universe that has all the movies and they're all in like the same universe? I can't think of with the doll and
was it in there?
I can't think. They had like the nun. The nun was one of the movies, and I can't.
I think I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I know they go heavy in that shit.
They're part of it in that universe,
and I didn't see like it's fucking vampires. Like, I don't know what you're expecting, and like
Bast is an alternate god. Like,
yeah,
like
right.
Everything in Marvel is another like.
Yeah,
I don't know what these people are talking about,
and they didn't even go into that in MCU. Bast. That's another missed opportunity there too.
Yeah.
But
they had to have those 2 funerals.
Yeah, man. What was it 3? It's been like 5 funerals.
And the ocean Puerto Ricans.
What was I about to say to you? But it's like as far as vampires movies went, Sinners was kind of tame. Say tame, like I say,
it wasn't even that gory, really.
Listen, like I saw Bram Stoker's Dracula. That was demonic,
right?
Okay, like he cussed out God, and he put a sword through the cross in his church, and blood was coming out of the cross. Now you can't get like that. That's just bad imagery, and what I mean by that, like that's disturbing imagery. I didn't like. You want to say that's demonic? Say that's demonic, but Sinners was black folk getting together in the South. They was planning for a party. They was going to get food for the party. They was going to get like decorations for the party. They was going to get musicians for the party. And then it got dark.
Right.
All right? And it was vampires in the area. And I'm not belittling the movie. It's a great movie. I can't wait for it to come out on streaming. I think they said June 3rd or June 6th. I'm going to buy that shit. I'm going to watch it a couple times that week. was a great movie, and
honestly, I like the pre-vampire stuff before. Like,
yeah,
the pre-vampire centers was better than when the vampire started. Like, the vampire stuff was cool, but like all the character building and all that stuff was like,
yeah. See,
I
now
enjoyed that more.
I want to know what happened to them in Chicago. I want to know why they back here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it was very put together. The Michael B. Jordan, like, if you didn't think he was for real, he was definitely for real in this movie. Playing,
he acted his ass off in this one.
He did. He played twins, and you can distinctly see their personalities.
Yeah, and it wasn't over the top.
It was not. It was not.
It was real subtle.
Haley Atwell, I meant to bring this up when Robert mentioned New Avengers. She can't. Young Avengers. She can't be a Young Avenger no more. Okay, she talking about tongues and coos and all that. Yeah, she ain't no kid.
you ain't a Young Avenger no more.
Yeah, no more. No, not granted.
You an Avenger.
Yeah, and that's what happened with Florence Pugh. The first time I saw her was in Black Widow, but she was in Oppenheimer, and she was getting X-rated in that joint. She was getting her back blown out in that joint. So like she ain't a kid neither. And like this, I don't want to talk about the MCU because we already talked about that. But
right.
Sinners was great. Got its money back, and it's going to be on streaming. Yeah, it does. And that's going to be hitting streaming about 2 weeks.
This might be a hot take, but I don't want the homie to direct any more MCU stuff.
Who, Coogler?
Coogler, yeah.
Why not?
I don't know if I particularly like his superhero stuff.
So this is what I'm going to say, because
I don't know.
I'm Dave Chappelle conspiracy brother with Black Panther. And I will continue to say this. We was too happy.
I think you're right.
And somebody was like, happy. And somebody was telling him, like, yo, you got to put some, it's too positive in this joint. Right, it's too positive in this joint. All right, like,
they didn't know what they was getting in for the first one.
No, they didn't. Like, we was out here talking about Wakanda like it was a real place, saluting each other and shit, talking about
Africans all over the diaspora was getting along.
Right.
Like we weren't really beefing no more.
Right. And, like, streaming for coming to America went up, and they didn't know why, because Zamunda and Wakanda are they neighboring countries. You know what I mean? But that's how I feel, because, like, I know you still didn't see Black Panther 2, but it was just like, it was too much.
It was depressing, super depressing.
Right. And it was, listen, I don't feel as strongly about the movie as you do, like banning it or anything, but it was a lot. People dying. Like, T'Challa died for the third time. Wait.
Third time, yeah.
Third time. The Queen died. The King died. Like, it was just the whole royal family got wiped out. And the Dora Milaje is supposed to be elite. Like, y'all is fucking up. Like, if y'all supposed to be protecting the royal family, y'all ain't getting it done. But we're not going to get into that. Sinners, you talking about Coogler. Coogler, did you like any of the Creed movies?
Oh, I love the Creed movies. I like all three of them.
Okay. I know he did 2 of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know about superhero stuff. Like, I like Black Panther. For a long time, it was probably in my top 2 or 3 MCU movies. Yeah. But over time, it's starting to fall down.
It's falling down because Black Panther's weird. When I say about that, the plot and, like, it wasn't one of the better it wasn't like the greatest, wasn't top 5 like storyline, but like culturally impact. Yeah. Like, it's in the top 3. It might be still.
It might be number 1 culturally,
right? Because it brought world peace. Like, we was all happy. We was all happy until Infinity War. Then we was sad again. But
what's funny is the Black Panther movie is not even T'Challa's best showing.
No, it's Civil War.
Yeah. That's when he was really Black Panther.
Yeah, he was. He was cutthroat. Like, the armor, I like that armor set better.
Yeah, that was definitely the best armor set.
Yeah. So, Yeah, I will agree with that too. He even fought different. That Civil War Black Panther would have beat the shit out of Killmonger, and like they would have ruled the
throat out real quick.
Yeah, he might have killed Claw on the street too. Like I don't care. Like
because he was not playing. He
right? Playing. Like ain't this why we here? Like this why we here, right? Like damn, but yeah, Coogler,
he had the illest line in that movie. He was like, "I'm a warrior and a king."
How long you think you can keep your friend safe from me? And like that's a threat that got you thinking, man. Like
because I'm gonna get him either way.
Yeah, like and you sitting there like, damn, can I protect my friend from this dude? No, not when I'm talking like that.
He's like Bucky is dead. He gonna have to let him live.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna have to talk to this dude. I'm gonna have to cop a plea because but yeah, they're totally different vibe between Civil War and Black Panther.
Yeah.
Black Panther, T'Challa. But moving on, Peacemaker is come out in August. Scale from 1 to 10, how interested are you in taking a look at Peacemaker?
We'll see, because well, no, I'm gonna watch Peacemaker. I like James Gunn.
How excited from 1 to 10?
Excited? I don't know.
TBD?
Yeah, that's a TBD.
Okay.
Right now, Superman got my attention the most out of all comic book stuff.
Let's talk about that. Why are you? Because I know that's gotten some hate. I know people were picking apart the trailer.
That's because people online are just dickheads. Like, I don't know. Like I like Zack Snyder's work. I like
Me too.
Zack Snyder's vision, but it's over. Like it's done.
It is over.
It's not coming. Yeah. It's not coming back. So we just might as well move on. And what I think what Gunn is doing, it looks good. It looks like Superman.
So you're hopeful.
Yeah, it's like Superman's supposed to be hopeful. Like it seems like, the dog looks cute, looks feisty.
He's touching Jay's heart. Then that's definitely an accomplishment. I don't
know about the villain, but.
Yeah, I'm not even sure who the villain is. Like I see the Ultraman thing, and now I see this Juggernaut looking thing, which might be Lex in a suit or somebody's in a suit of armor. They've done a good job not really locking in on.
Yeah, they haven't pulled a Captain America.
Right.
We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we don't know if it's Brainiac. We don't know if it's Parasite. We don't know.
We didn't see kaijus in this joint.
Right. That's another thing. Like, where the hell that come from?
The Justice Society or Justice...
I am excited for that.
It's a terrific.
Terrific. The girl that's playing Hawkgirl, she's in The Last of Us right now. And she's capable. She looks capable. So, and she's going to be in Peacemaker. Because I saw Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner and Peacemaker. Yeah. So they're doing some connecting. We'll see how that works out. But I'm between Superman, Fantastic Four, and Jurassic Park.
Fantastic Four looks butt.
No, I'm excited for that one.
You excited for that? Oh man, that looks booty.
Like that's like. To me, right now it's X-Men and Avengers. Back in the day, for me, it was Fantastic Four and Avengers. Okay, like
that's your people's then.
Yeah, so
but they look booty though.
You sound like my brother. He said the same thing. I'm riding with Pedro until he do something bad.
Pedro and too much stuff, man.
Listen, he's the wily vet on that team. Like, we're gonna see what he can do.
Because if you ever did a fan cast of Fantastic Four, would you say, "Oh, you know what? It'd be hot." Pedro Pascal's Mr. Fan. You would never say that.
I would never cast him. I don't know what first of all, Pedro's agent gotta be the best agent in fucking Hollywood
because he's on everything.
Like it's like we like if they was casting for Black Panther today, his agent would get it to Pedro.
Or he was in a lot of Diddy parties or something.
We're gonna leave Diddy alone because that dude needs therapy, prayer, and an exorcism, man.
Diddy's a wild bull.
Yeah, I feel like he's about to get off. Too many holes in the story.
Yeah, he might be. He might be. He was filling up pools with baby oil.
All right, we're not doing that. But put it like this: he made us forget about Shannon Sharp for the last couple of weeks. Yeah. Shannon was hot topic a month ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pedro's agent could get you and I roles in Hollywood and roles that don't even apply to us. Right. So shout out to Pedro's agent.
But he needs to slow down. That agent needs to slow it down.
Let me ask, like, what is Pedro like? Ever since I've seen him, like, it started for me with him, Game of Thrones. That's kind of where I don't know about Pedro before that. I don't know what he's done.
Is that where he hopped on the scene? I don't know.
Let me see something.
I'm sure he had to have done something before that.
He had to. Like, it might have been like on, look at that. Pedro's the first name. It might have been like a Samuel L. Jackson thing where he was always there and you didn't realize it. So, yeah, he's. I don't know these. These are all recent. Like, he's just shooting a bunch of movies at the same fucking time, and he's getting paid.
Hopefully, he ain't on some Bruce Willis stuff where he's like,
yeah,
about to die, and he's just like, let me do everything.
Let me see. All right, I'm going to have to look this up later, but like everything seems recent.
Yeah,
like he's just. I don't know what he's
like
saying.
Even The Last of Us. I never even really played The Last of Us like that, but would you have picked him for that role?
No. Like Joel was like a regular white guy,
right?
Like he wasn't of any kind of Latin.
What is Pedro? Is he some kind of Hispanic guy or something?
They said what is this?
Is he Sicilian?
Chichilian or
Chichilian? They just made some shit up. This dude is Chichilian.
I'm telling you, it says he's a Pedro Pascal. CHILEAN - American actor. That's Chilean.
They hyphenated some bullshit because I don't know what they have made up a country.
He's from South America. Chinchillians. That's what Denzel's coat was made out of in American Gangs.
Right. Oh, what kind of coat is that? It's Chinchillian.
It's a Chinchillian here, so you know. Shout out to Pedro. I like Pedro.
I like him too, man. But you in too much shit right now, bro. Slow down.
The only role I didn't like him in was Wonder Woman, but it was a lot of things wrong with Wonder Woman. Yeah, 84. It was a lot of things wrong.
You know, I could never. Tried to watch it like 4 times. I've never been able to stay up through the whole movie.
Dude, like Gal,
I fell asleep. Like I fall asleep halfway through it every time.
You know the other bad part is Gal's fucking beautiful in that movie. Like,
yeah, I never thought she would be a good Wonder Woman, but now I can't imagine anybody else being Wonder Woman.
Right, and like she's not really doing anything else. Right,
she has the look.
She does. Like that, she was going to be one of my brides at one point. Yeah, but you got to come as Wonder Woman. I don't want to see
nothing else.
Yeah. Real quick, before we wrap
I see you got the Peloton in the background. What you trying to get in shape?
Yeah,
you trying to get buff?
Yeah, you're trying to this summer. I'm trying to have like the tank with the looking like Usher, man. With the abs and everything. Trying to do what I can, man. I lost some pounds, man. I got some energy.
Okay.
So I'm feeling good right now. But yeah, Transformers is rumors. Nothing. But even before we get to that, Netflix does have a show on right now, Forever, which I love. It's about.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, first love, teenage years.
Is that like a Nancy Drew book or something? Or
no, it's set in 2018. 2 black teens in LA. It's some real stuff in there, but like it's going to have you thinking about that first person. You were with her at the time. Bullshit, man, like, don't be like that.
Off in my feelings, man.
Yeah, you will. You definitely will be in your feelings.
I'm going to see explosions. You're going to have me reminiscing. Start playing some Mary J. Blige in the background.
Watch it with your wife, man. I watched it with my wife, and like, it's it's crazy because kids, we old now. Like
Right.
listeners, we old, and like you look back at stuff in hindsight, and you know we swear we was grown, like, but we don't know. We ain't know how to communicate back then, especially with the opposite sex, and like, you know, on there they like blocking each other on social media. I'm so glad I didn't have to deal with social media at high school, man. Like it's a good show. Like it's doing very well. It had a heartbreaking ending, and the show got renewed for a second season after a week. So like that's how well it's doing. Like Netflix just ordered up another season, and it's based on it's based on a book by because it's a famous
Judy Blume.
Yes, Judy Blume. And the acting in it is really good. Wood Harris is in it, and Wood is always around. He always does a good job. He did a good job in this one as the one kid's father, the boy out the couple. You should watch it, Jay. You should. You ain't gonna. It's not gonna. I ain't gonna lie.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, put it on with your wife so she can't say that you don't ever watch that with her. Like,
I watch all them soap operas with her. I'd have ran up enough currency.
Somebody's gonna get in her ear about that, man. You're gonna end up watching it anyway because it's everywhere.
I've been Victor Newman-ing it up for the last few months.
Man, I got the same curtain rod upstairs, so I'm looking at the curtain rod. We get old. But like I will say, like I like romance movies. I will watch those. I like the interaction with people, and like I'm all about the mysteries of that and how it gets so complicated for no real reason. You know, like just communication period with people. It's
pause.
Like you gotta
pause.
If you have there's yeah. All right, we gonna move on. I got the wrong audience right now.
Yeah, you got the wrong audience, man.
Transformers is coming. Rumors that Shy may come back for Rise of Unicron movie with Megan. Is it Fox?
Megan Fox with toe thumbs.
Yeah, listen, she can have the toe thumbs.
But I don't know. Is she not hot anymore though? No, she getting old, long in the tooth.
No, that movie when she was the robot.
When she was the robot.
Like, do you see this movie that's on Netflix?
Yeah. I haven't watched that. Yeah.
Everything is where it's still where it
she's still
her face just look a little weird. Like now, it don't like Megan Fox and Transformers. Was it 1 or 2? 2. That's peak Megan Fox. Like it's not that. Like, it's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with her. Like physically, her face. You can see the work and everything, but she's all right. But I wouldn't mind like her coming back, and Mark Wahlberg is supposed to be in it too with them. So we see what happened. The movies ain't been the same since Shy left, and I like Mark Wahlberg. He brought nothing really to the franchise, like nothing, and I like him. He's a great actor. But he brought nothing.
He needs to do another Funky Bunch album.
It's funny. I was watching. I forgot what I was watching, and they were like, "It's like, yo, Mark." One guy was talking about how his son or one of his kids didn't realize that he was a artist.
Right.
I was watching. It Is What It Is.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The chick, Stat Baby, she didn't know he used to be like a rapper.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, he used to be a rapper. And it was somebody else they mentioned, and she didn't know. Like, oh, like he was a rapper too. And they was like, yeah. I think she's only like 24 or 20.
Yeah, she's real young.
She's really young. So maybe. Supergirl's finished wrapping up, so that's going to be something else down the pike. I'm not even going to ask you, Jay, because you sound hopeful what Gunn is doing right now.
Yeah, we're going to see. Like
you're being patient right now.
I've liked most of what James Gunn has done.
Me too. And we talked about listen, like this is debatable, but like I know a lot of people think that Captain America had the best trilogy in MCU. For me, it was the Guardians. For me,
I think I might go with Guardians too.
Like it had a nice beginning and ending.
But Winter Soldier, that kind of
Winter Soldier that's still peak.
Peak. It's like peak.
Yeah, but see, it's like.
But that first Cap though brings the trilogy down below.
Well, see, now you're like you're Mike. You're with Mike. I like the first one.
I don't hate the first Cap.
I think it's the best. Depending on what day of the week it is. It's Friday right now. So
I think it's mid to lower tier though.
See, I think it's 1 or 2 in Phase 1.
Really?
I do. I like that one a lot. See, here's my argument for it. The supporting cast was one of the best. Everybody forgets that Tommy Lee Jones was even in the MCU. Like, he had a great role. You had Haley Atwell out of nowhere with a strong, like, she's still around today,
right?
Based on that. And you had Hugo Weaver. He doesn't even do Marvel moves anymore, and he brought the Red Skull to life. Like, everybody was strong in that movie, and it was a nice wartime. I don't know how Disney pulled off a war. What was it? World War I, 2?
2. Yeah,
it was 2.
Yeah,
they got away with that. They did a good job with that film, and it led right into it. I see you begrudgingly don't want to give any credit. Civil War is my favorite. I like Civil War because the Avengers broke up because of that, and like the fight at the end between Tony and Steve is like one of the more
that was a good fight.
Yeah, like they both of them. I was about to call them something else. Both of these dudes were like about to cry. At the end, it's like I had to beat your ass though, bro. Like
they both had a point,
right? They did. They did, and that's when politics get in the way. See, that's when the Avengers bother me with the politics. The Justice League would have been like, we ain't signing it. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like, we'll be in the tower. We'll be in the watchtower. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I've never seen them like sanction or anybody make a move unless it's what's the one that Waller's in charge of? I can't think of the name. Cadmus moves against them, but it ain't never really the government outright like y'all gotta sign a treaty or whatever. It's like,
right. You see what Batman did that one time. He was like, y'all are stupid.
Yeah, y'all crazy. I'm not going in there. Like that's ridiculous. They
were like, we gotta turn ourselves in. He's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, let me know how that go. But yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. And Cap kind of cheated. He had like Avengers all through his trilogy. He had
so they weren't really Cap movies.
You can say
they were ensemble flicks.
Right. He had Avengers, not even like supporting characters. He had Avengers. And,
the whole Avengers team too.
Right. And but Guardians, like James Gunn, I'm sorry that he got into that trouble a couple years ago because I heard that they were getting ready to make him in charge of like Marvel, like space or whatever. He had set a whole tone, with the music.
That was just
everything.
stupid. Like, come on, man, you want to get that dude on some tweets from like 20 years ago?
It was.
People be tripping,
and because of that, y'all gave DC a chance. You know what I mean? Like he signed.
They breathed some life into DC.
Right. So, but we talked about beginning and endings. Guardians had a beginning, had an end, and like it had nice emotional ties. It was just well done. And I'm sorry to see the Guardians go. I hope they come back. But it won't come back as the version that we know because I know Batista's done with the role. Like he sounds like he hates the role now. Like I'll never do that again. So we'll see.
That's what made me respect Batista as an actor.
Yeah, because he came in, he was hungry. Right. You know what I mean? But now he
can't keep that weight though. He can't be buff like that no more.
Nah, he getting old, man. Even as a wrestler, he could barely carry it to me. He was always hurt and like he moved funny. But yeah. That was my favorite, and hopefully, Marvel keeps moving in the right direction with this stuff, and that's all we got right tonight. And we're going to leave it there. Robert was having issues, and we'll catch up with him later. But on behalf of, Jay, you got anything you wanted to close out with?
No, I think I got some ideas for next time.
Yeah, I had some stuff I left out, but we can definitely use that for the next show for our listeners. So this will be it for us. This was a good show. We had a lot to talk about. We were off for a couple of weeks. Everybody had to charge their battery, but we want to say goodnight, and I'm gonna end us off with some Optimus Prime to all or one, and we're gonna get out of here. You guys have a good night.